Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review 28 Years Later. And this is the latest film in this franchise with the return of director Danny Boyle and writer Alex Garland. And this film focuses on Alfie Williams Spike, a young man who is part of this survivors colony on this small island right off the shore of the mainland of the UK. And you have this experience where Spike is brought out into the wilderness by his father, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and also has a very sick mother, played by Jodie Comer, and will go to great lengths to try to figure out a way to make her well again. And this film really is a two-part kind of film. That first part, where it's a lot of father-son bonding, learning about how to hunt the infected from this virus, which has evolved over the course of all these years, and you get this rich dynamic of Taylor Johnson, who's very masculine, very intense, big kind of personality, who's trying to teach his son how to take out these zombies, and you have this disconnect where it's like you can tell that Spike doesn't 100% want to do this, and that kind of conflict and the elements that happen in this first half of the film, it's extremely intense, it's thrilling, it's unrelenting, and this is what I feel like a lot of people were expecting out of this film. And then the second half of the film is this journey with his mother, and the dynamic of showing how Spike cares so much about his mother and the humanity and the truth. Comer has this character who's in and out of consciousness and clarity, and there's a lot of emotion that Comer brings to this. It's a big but very effective performance, and William just anchors this whole film down, bringing so many layers to this young man. This is a coming-of-age story set decades into this apocalyptic zombie outbreak, and the world building is so fantastic. From the opening scene where we get this setup of this young boy, son of a preacher, escaping the initial attack of this virus, it is horrifying, it's intense, and it just sets the stage that comes full circle in a very polarizing, wild final couple minutes of this film that sets up this second film, The Bone Temple, that will be coming out like 6.5 months from now. But this film does such a great job of building this world, make it feel so authentic, and you have these patrols that are going around trying to make sure that nothing gets off the islands that make up the UK. You have these evolutions of the infected, where you have like these big gelatinous ones that are like crawling across the ground, eating worms and stuff like that, and then you have these alphas, these massive, like roided out versions of humans, which I am sure you will be seeing the memes, but they also have very large other things as well besides just their whole bodies. And all of those elements really work here in terms of setting up a very dangerous and complex world. And I love Ray Fiennes' character, who's not in the film much, but adds so many layers to the thematic exploration of this film in terms of how it deals with death and humanity. And this film has really great thematic work. It has big emotional stakes, and there's big emotional elements in the second half of this film that really resonate. And there's also some very strange and challenging other elements thrown in, and I think it'll depend if some of those things, like how far you're willing to buy into this, where some of those things will work or not. The filmmaking, though, the score, the sound design, the use of that Rudyard Kipling telecast thing that was in the trailers, and how it just crafts this extremely eerie experience. Young fathers who make the music for this film, the cinematography from Anthony Dodd Mantle, and just the way that it looks so gritty and like it's on a videotape. It feels like the original 28 days later, this grittiness, this raw energy that brings this film to life is so compelling and dynamic. And it's engrossing. The slow motion, the freeze frames, the crazy editing, the uncomfortable close-ups, and these interesting dynamic shots, the Dutch angles, all of it comes together to make such a unique cinematic experience in 2025. This is a bold, ambitious film, and Boyle and Garland are back at it, really delivering something special, and I cannot wait for the other two films. But those are my thoughts on 28 Years Later. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.